All right, guys. Um, Fula, base judo, base Muslim, whatever you want to call me. I'm live. Um, so I kind of just want to reflect on some happenings in the whole red pill manuscript space. I try to, the content has been shifting more and more towards the African geopolitical worldwide geopolitical type things because of course this weekend we just had or this past couple of days we just had the BRICS summit, and we just had a host of nations basically express their commitment to BRICS, and also express that they want to join BRICS. Now, there have been some kind of happenings in the I want to say in the Manosphere, and it's the usual suspects, of course, and now we have to ask ourselves, now we have to ask ourselves, do you still want to follow behind these individuals? And it's kind of crazy as I say, this is actually crazy as well. I didn't expect this to be a thing, but people who, I mean, I wouldn't expect it, but people who actually said that they are even the same faith are now identifying with people who are doing things opposite of the faith. And what I mean is, by faith, I mean Islam. As crazy as it sounds, the past events, the past events that just occurred basically go to tell you everything that you need to know, about what happened. This is the crazy thing about it. Now, what I want to say is that there is a hadith, and I'll read that hadith. And actually, people say, and this just goes to show you what kind of audience they really have at the end of the day. Hold on. Okay. So there is a hadith by the Prophet alayhi salatu salam. Um, and this goes to show you, how heavy it is basically to do such a thing. But there is one hadith by the Prophet alayhi salatu salam that basically said, he who imitates a person is that person. So, like, when you see, for example, Sneeko, and when you see all the usual suspects and they're doing such things, you have to ask yourself, okay, why are you associating yourself with people like this? Like, why are you like, what is the need to associate yourself with such individuals? And that these individuals are, you know, doing foul things that that you shouldn't even be um concerning yourself with, but yet, for whatever reason, they decide to. um Now, Sneeko has said that he has become a Muslim. Alhamdulillah, may Allah guide him, and may Allah guide him to what is good. um Now, um who he's learning his Islam from, I don't know. That remains to be seen. I don't know who's teaching him Islam or what the case may be, but whoever is, wherever he's getting his knowledge, I hope it is a reliable source of knowledge when it comes to learning the religion, and when it comes to learning the rudiments and the basics of the religion. I hope it's reliable, and I hope that, he will be successful in this endeavor, right? Now, the thing is that the meaning of the title is, when you look at the red pill space, right? When you look at the whole Manosphere space, there's only a couple of individuals who actually, unfortunately hold a monopoly over it. It's You got, of course, Fresh and Fit, they're one of them. I think you got who else? I guess you can consider Rolo Tomasi. Yeah, he has a monopoly over it as well. You got a couple of guys where they have more visibility than those who maybe, have a smaller audience, but maybe still have valid points. You know what I mean? So the thing is that one thing about the Manosphere and the red pill guys, is that with them, with it being said, one thing that they always offer, this is the one thing they always offer, okay? For some reason, they always offer this. They always offer some courses, you know. They always offer, like, okay, take my course, sign up for my course, this, that, and the other. One of the guys who was on, I want to say he was on uh he was on, I want to say, the Whatever podcast. Yes, he was on the Whatever podcast. And the thing about him is he has this one program where you can sign up to meet, quote unquote, elite women, sign up to meet, quote unquote, elites, sign up to meet certain individuals, like, kind of like a networking type thing, you know what I mean? um so that's one thing about it, is that he was, and it's advertised, unfortunately, on YouTube, that this guy actually has, like, this kind of like networking thing, where you can just basically, it's like, I want to say, it's just like this networking type thing. I don't want to say network marketing, but it has kind of like similar, I guess you can say it kind of has some kind of like similar undertones to that, to network marketing and stuff like that, right? But anyhow, these same guys do not want you to have like the creative forces to go about it your own way. It's almost like I want to say indoctrination. So, for example, and I think I said this in the last live stream. Um, you may have guys like, for example, like I don't like the guy Justin Whaler. I think he's a cornball. I really don't like Fresh and Fit. I think they are cornballs. But you'll have guys who will say, for example, that like if you don't follow them, then you're a simp. That's just the main thing that they're gonna say. So, oh, you don't follow these guys, you're a simp. Oh, um, oh, you're a beta. These are the talking points that they'll make when it comes to these guys. They're followers, and their followers are almost like a cult. So what needs to be said is that if you find the power within yourself to do things on your own terms, then that becomes a threat for the simple fact that you are saying, well, I don't need your courses. I did it myself. I could do it myself. Everything that I needed was within already. You know what I mean? It just took me a little bit of, I guess you can say, trial and error to reveal. Um, I just needed to. It was just trial and error, and I just needed to, you know, I just needed to basically find my own find my own way to, do my own thing. You know what I mean? And so I think this is what happens, and it's something that I guess that these guys don't want to happen because when you look at them, and we're gonna look at them. What's the one thing that these guys all have in common? There's one common denominator when it comes to all of these guys. They all have I want to say they all have a course or something that they offer. Okay? They all have a course. That's the crazy thing about this whole situation is that they all have a course that they offer. Um so I'm going to get into some things that were revealed to me. These things were revealed to me. They came out of nowhere. But yeah, these things basically got my attention. So let me go ahead without further ado and get into some of these things and get let's go ahead. I'm going to share the screen and we're going to get into it. Now, one thing I want to so all of them offer something. Now, this guy, for example, was saying that this dude was saying, for example, that um that America is the GOAT, is the best place to be. But then on the flip side, he's now saying that, oh, he's now talking about the death of the United States. So you have to ask yourself, which one is it? Why aren't you being consistent? You know what I mean? That's the thing. Now, let's look at this and see if what is saying is consistent with like, what, because here's the thing. You know what I mean? If you already have a belief system, but you're willing to learn and try to, like, possibly understand something, um no, I mean, it's all good, bro. Like, I'm a small channel. I'm a very, very small channel. Nobody gives a crap about me. I just use this to express my views. That's the thing. I just use it to express my views. That's it. I don't expect to blow up or anything like that. I don't really expect it. That's why I suggest that everybody, should get some kind of other thing going outside of YouTube for sure. But the thing is, when it comes to these guys, most of their talking points, yeah, maybe there are some good talking points, maybe there are some valid talking points, but again, let's see if it makes sense, and let's see if it's gonna work in like a scenario. But let's listen to this guy.
Do you think that's a good thing to have multiple families?
I think it's good if there's one dad and there's not a bunch of step parents involved.
But you don't think that it will be an opportunity for jealousy or disharmony amongst
Women
two
are always
different
going to be
families?
jealous. What's
I'm
changed
not
about that?
jealous in
Women
my
have been jealous
marriage.
all the way through time.
I'm not jealous in my marriage.
I don't care about your marriage. I'm talking about mine. So I don't answer to you.
But are you wanting to be a role model for your kids? Is that part of
1,000%. A father should show up in every way for his children.
But you have other relationships with other women too.
What does that have to do with anything?
And you would want that for your daughters?
Yeah.
But do you want your daughter to have a guy like that long term?
If he takes care of her in every way and she has a much better life because of it, yeah.
Do you think that?
So again, like, and this messes with the lineage of a kid. This could mess with the lineage of a kid, and it can add confusion versus polygamy, where God God basically regulates how many women you can have, number one, and number two, you're gonna know, okay, this woman is going to come from, or this kid comes from this woman, this kid comes from this woman, this kid comes from this woman, right? Versus him, where he thinks that, oh, let me just do the macho thing and sleep and just have relationships everywhere, where there is no commitment and no marriage involved in that. And on the flip side of that, who knows if the woman may be walking out and doing other things, right? Now, again, when you look when you look at the dynamics with polygamy, which involves marriage, versus what this dude wants to do, you have to ask yourself, which one is more responsible and which one involves having to do more? And the one that will have to do more is the polygamy, because now you're not only responsible for one woman, but you're responsible for perhaps four women. Okay, which means that you're gonna have to have your stuff all together, versus this dude who thinks like, okay, well, let me just sleep around, you know what I mean? And also, let me let me have a daughter who is and this is one thing that we need to catch too. He was okay with his daughter having being in a relationship with a man who just sleeps around as well, as long as she is taken care of. Now, I would understand if he said, "Well, my daughter can be a co-wife, no problem. I'm okay with that." But he didn't say that. Okay? But let's look at some more of him. Let's look at some more. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see.
And all right, guys, what is going on? Welcome back. You realize there is a dissonance, and that's exactly what's happening. Form the laptop here to ruin
The place of that marriage you want, with that family and that lifelong love. They just.
I didn't say I didn't have family or children. I just said
I
I'm running
see.
your business.
Oh, I see.
Ah.
Okay.
Do you? Justin has I might have multiple family.
So, like, again,
Oh, you never know. I might like family more than you. So much I have 5.
Do you think that's a good?
so again, getting defensive, like over some simple ass questions. And let me tell you something. I've been called all the names in the book. I even had one Belejo woman, one Black American woman, referred to my mom, as a nappy headed African. And now granted, I was like, okay, well, whatever. You know what I mean? But you can tell that he is bothered by like just simple questions. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if his ego is like hurt or something like that, but it just like goes to show you like, okay, well, bro, it's just simple ass question. And you know how these women are. So if you already know the nature of these women, why are you tripping? Why are you tripping? You know what I mean? But let's continue.
Good thing to have multiple families.
I think it's good if there's one dad and there's not a bunch of step parents involved, and the dad can be the hero, and those 5 families live a 10x better life than they would have otherwise. Yes, ma'am, I do.
But you don't think that it will be ultimately
due to women through soul ties becoming more addicted.
My situation is exactly how I want to, and generally, when I do that, that's when I have the most happiness, let's say, in my life. So
I just want to chime in one more thing, and I'll let the video run. I find it very interesting that RedPill bashes feminism, right? Women just doing whatever they want because it makes them feel happy. Yet, ironically, it sounds like he's doing the exact same thing. Well,
So, and this is my thing about the whole red pill thing. There is information that you can take and run with, okay? Like basically, especially how these women are moving out here. Don't get me wrong. There is information you can take, but the problem starts is when they're doing the exact same thing that they're saying that you should not do. And number 2, when they're exhibiting the exact same behavior of the same people they are talking against. Okay, that's where the issue lies. You know what I mean? This is where the issue lies. Now men, women were built different. Yes, we're wired different. Okay. But at the same time, there are certain like ground level things that it's like, yo, you can't be moving reckless out here. You know what I mean? We see the results of like dudes who did move reckless out here and father a lot of kids, and what I mean, we see how they end up, right? And yet, unless you're like loaded, that's the only time when you're good. But let's see.
You know, I don't care how many families this screws up, the population, society, marriage, etc., as long.
And now this is another thing too that people don't realize. If you don't decide, if you decide like, hey, I'm not going to like marry a family or anything like that. If you decide, okay, I'm not going to marry this family, I'm not going to marry this woman, it could possibly um mess up the lineage too. One thing actually happened, okay? There was actually one thing that happened. And I know this story that happened, and it's crazy. But there was this one guy, okay? He thought he met the love of his life, right? He brought the love to um her father, right? This dude or he brought, I think he brought the love to his father, right? When his father saw her, the father nearly passed out because it turned out that that was his half sister. So when you do things irresponsible, as this man is saying right now, quote unquote being alpha, um these things happen, okay? And you have the possibility of these things happening, you know what I mean? But let's go ahead and let's continue.
As I'm happy, right? So red pill is male feminism, which I've made very clear to you guys. It completely shits on itself, and excuse my language.
And I want to say something too, as I said before. I want to say something that I said it before and I'll say it again. It's already in you. I believe that men in their innate nature are intelligent enough to see what's going on, where they can make decisions that are logical decisions that are going to be best for their outcome. Okay? That's what I believe. So, if you see, for example, going on these courses and stuff like that, paying for these courses, you never really hear any success stories when it comes to these courses. That's the thing. Where are the testimonies when you see these guys? They're saying, oh, we went on this course, we did this, we did that. All of a sudden, now I'm a high roller, this, that, and the other, right? We only see the two guys who are like the high roller, the guys who founded the courses. But the other guys, we don't see them. Like, so it bounced the question is, do these guys really want to help you? Because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be completely real. And I know this sounds crazy, and I know I may sound like I'm over my head, but a lot of these red pill elites are afraid that you may surpass them. That there may be a guy in the tuck who may surpass them because of their gifts. Everybody has a gift in one way or another. So this is what I think it comes down to. But let's listen to him.
Language, but yeah, it's ridiculous. Anyways, I'll let this play for a bit.
And you would want that for your daughters?
Yeah, I live my life unapologetically on my terms. So if my daughters that are overly spoiled and educated in every way and have friends all over the world and world traveled in the best schools in the world, if they have a problem with me at the end of the day, then they can kick rocks too. I'm not going to simp for my daughters. I'll love them fully. But if they grow up and turn into a person that doesn't want to get in line with me, or look, here's my goal as a parent: teach my children how the world works, give them the skills so they can live on their own terms, and give them choice. If they choose not to make me part of their life after I've given them those things, I've still succeeded as a father.
So here's the thing. I completely agree with that. I understand.
So you can't teach a kid, you can't lead a kid to you can't teach a kid how to fish. That's our job as parents. We have to teach our kids how to fish. But at the same time though, um the thing is, deep inside, even if you have like laid that foundation, right, for a kid, if that kid goes rogue, there's going to be a part of you that says, dang, I failed as a father, regardless of what you did. You're going to be like, dang, I still failed as a father. I did my best. I tried, but there was a part that was missing in the equation. You know what I mean? So that's still, no matter how you look at it, it's still going to be in you, you know?
And I'm not a father, but I do have a roof over.
I'm just saying, like, if I want to, I will.
This is male feminine.
I have 100.
But you wanting to be a role model for your kids? Is that part of
1,000%. A
Boom.
father should show up in every way for his children. I think I'll be better than most fathers, regardless of how many children I have. I might have 100.
Now, the thing is, for example, back in the day, it was possible to have 100 kids, but like again, those kids were going to be taken care of in a compound or something like that, or what I mean. But in like Western society, I don't think that's ideal.
But you think part of being a role model, it's okay for your kids not to know even your relationship status with their own mom?
They will know the relationship status with me and their mother.
But you have other relationships with other women too.
What does that have to do with anything?
But I'm just wondering if you think
I haven't even said that. I'm just saying, like, if I want to, I will.
So the thing is that again, you see the mannerisms, and I hate to say it, but you see that like this dude is very fragile. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, well, bro, like she wasn't even aggressive, and you like lightweight have mannerisms that exhibit like a woman. But yet these are the guys who like people think that, wow, they're saying something so prophetic. And really it's like, bro, like these things you can find in different sources. You don't need no courses, or you don't need anything like that. You know what I mean? But these are the guys, you know what I mean? These are the guys that they follow.
This is male feminism. This doesn't make sense, guys. Part of being a masculine figure is sometimes taking the bullet for the greater good of society. So you know what? Maybe that means I'm not going to be talking to 5 women at once, because if I'm choosing to be deliberate through being a leader with my children or my community, I understand that by hunkering down or to being loyal to one woman, right? Although it may not be as fun on paper like the Red Pill endorses, it will raise stronger children, which will then ripple out and raise stronger grandchildren. And this, guys, you must understand, is how our society is built, right? The reason we're in this degenerate mess in the first place is because there have been certain narratives propagated to both men and women to be promiscuous, to avoid the nuclear family, to forget about having kids. That's it's a burden, ABCD. And this is why we're in such a huge mess where, individuals that are so esteemed, right, like Tate or this guy, so many of you guys follow him, yet their house it's built on sand. It doesn't make sense. When you break it down a little bit, it's a glass wall. Do you understand it? Again, I have nothing against the guy. I'm sure he means well. I'm just being completely logical with the argument at hand.
That's a problem for your daughter to know that about their dad. That he has multiple mistresses.
That's up to my daughter, man.
Yeah. So honestly, guys, I think I'm going to finish this video here. I'll keep this pretty short. You can see the fruit of Red Pill in its purest form. This entire clip is like over 21 minutes long, where they're going back and forth. But I just showed you 2.5 minutes.
Okay, so in let me see. So other guys are now like now you see and I hate to say this, I'm gonna be completely real. She actually, and I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but she actually was more stoic than that fool when it comes down to it. Okay. Now, um, I'm gonna play one more clip. Okay. To let you know these guys, and here's another thing that we haven't even thought of. A lot of these red pill guys don't even like each other. That's one thing we have to think about too. A lot of these guys that you see rolling with each other and stuff like that on the same page, on the same podcast, they don't even like each other. Very few like them. There's no honor amongst thieves. Remember that quote.
trigger. You know what I'm saying? No, you are. You're annoying in like this goody two shoes type way, and that's fine. I'm gonna live my life on my terms, unapologetically, like truly. So you can ask me this 85 different ways. At the end of the day, I'm gonna walk out of here the same man. And any woman in my life that you either accept that or leave, and that's not a threat. That's, hey, this is what I offer. If that works for you, okay. If it doesn't, you can go.
If you have replaced an only
Andrew Tate's one of the most wonderful human beings I've ever met in my life. Love him with all my heart.
Why is the enemy of the state, so to speak?
He's got the hearts of young men. And in the real world, I post 3 to 5 stories every day of some kid that's not even out of freaking high school yet, making 3, 4 grand, 5 grand, 6 grand, 10 grand, sometimes 20 grand in a month. The difference.
Okay. Yeah, we would like to really see that. Can someone verify that? Can someone verify that? Please let me know. Can someone verify that, that there are high school kids making 3 to 5 grand based on this?
Between going to college and joining the real world is the guy that's teaching you in the real world is actually making a bunch of money doing it right now.
Over 10K a month, over 10K in what, 3 weeks? A month ain't even over yet. You know why I say I feel like crap? Because I feel like my whole life's been a lie. I feel like my whole life's been a lie.
Andrew Tate's one.
Okay, there's one guy. A lot of these guys are like really getting their cars full. Let's look at this one. Let's look at this one real quick.
And this got sent to me because they said, hey, you're the first one to call this guy out for not being a real expert. It's very fucking obvious to someone who's spent their whole life on the game that Justin Waller, aka Jay Waller, does not know what the fuck he's talking about regarding women. So please follow me on TikTok. Transform their bodies, blah, blah, blah. 5-part program. Okay. I did a little fact checking just to make sure this is a legitimate operation. And let's see what we got here. Okay. Jay Waller Fitness, LLC. Okay. This was formed in Louisiana. And here we have it. Okay. Justin Waller is the registered agent. But wait a second. This was formed in October 2020, less than 2 years ago. Okay. That sounds very familiar. Such as when Myron Gaines was working as a fitness coach, okay, and then just jumped into the space to become a dating expert. So Myron pulled the exact same fucking move, okay? He was a nobody. He took Brandon Carter's high ticket course, and then he decided to become a fitness expert, but he had never trained fitness before either, okay? And by the way, his fitness advice fucking blows, according to Jay Vincent, who said it's like the opposite of how real fitness advice should be, just like his dating advice. Okay, so let's take a look here for what could possibly be going on with Jay Waller, okay? Somebody sent me this here. So this is according to the person that sent it to me. Jay Waller's grift is that he is a very successful steel company owner with 90 staff members, bringing in millions, and also a real estate investor and entrepreneur. But here we see 20 months ago, he opened this LLC as a personal trainer. He's also a leader in Hustlers University and a coach in the War Room run by Andrew Tate. It looks
so, again, the same group of elites, and I'm not gonna clown on Andrew Tate because he's a Muslim brother. I'm just gonna, and we're supposed to think the best of him. But sometimes if someone is doing something obviously wrong, then you have to call them out on it. You know what I mean? And so, I'm not familiar with the workings of Hustler University. Like, I'm not really familiar with it. But I don't know. for me, I can't really even speak on it. But the fact that this dude, like, and he presents himself, like, that's the thing. He presents himself as someone who's this self-made dude who just like basically started his own wave, but as a matter of fact, his wave came from someone else. You know what I mean? But let's get into it.
Looks like they're just giving these grifters cover stories as successful men to recruit suckers. Okay. And then Justin Waller's mom made a video recently that said, "Oh, Justin's a liar, blah, blah, blah." Like, and she's like battling cancer and he's like refused to help her, allegedly. This is all according to the person claiming to be his mom. Allegedly, Jay Waller's mom. "I'm so sorry my son lied to you."
Hello, I'm Julie Richardson Waller Coffin. I'm Justin Waller's mother, and for the past 12 hours, I have been horrifically watching his videos. Absolutely devastated.
Okay, so she just found his content or something, unless he made some really bad stuff the past 12 hours.
At the lies that he's been telling all of you.
And this got sent to me because I said, "Hey, you're the first one to call this guy out for not being a real expert." It's very fucking obvious to someone who's spent their whole life on the game that Justin Waller, aka Jay Waller, does not know what the fuck he's talking about regarding women. All this, "Oh, I hold the door."
You know what? The thing is too about women, and I've learned this experience about it. Although women are kind of like, they're fickle and stuff like that. One thing I learned is that if they're effing with you, they're effing with you. Okay. They're like really messing with you. Like if they dig you, like you can feel their mannerisms change around you. So you don't really need like a dating expert. You know what I mean? Like you simply like I'm dead serious when I say that if you have like a aura or like a presence or something like that, that's usually good enough, bro. Like it's usually good enough. Like if they there's just certain things and just certain mannerisms, and I'm not like and I'm not no pickup coach or pickup artist or anything like that. But if you just have like a certain way of carrying yourself, like your demeanor and things like that, then you'll get it, man. You'll get it. But let's continue.
Door and blah blah, all that stuff's fucking bullshit. He's repeating fucking copywriter messages. His community posts are copywriter messages. He's not congruent whatsoever, okay, with his claims that he's some lady killer. And someone even sent me a screenshot where he's like, "I don't talk about getting girls because I'm too busy getting laid. Think about that, G." It's like, yeah, no one believes. Actually, a lot of people believe him. Okay, no real expert is going to believe him. And I've heard behind the scenes his game fucking blows. Okay, he's trying to learn game from Andrew Tate, who doesn't really have any game, as we saw in that public date where it was showcased. Okay, his game was god awful. It was on the level of like a newbie level guy. But since he can wear sunglasses indoors and smoke a cigar and show you his supercars, that passes off for a good game. He's like, "Oh, I show all these girls." He shows paid cam staff. It's not an accomplishment. Okay, he claimed 450 lay count on an interview with me, and 70 of those he said were paid cam staff. Okay, congratulations. Okay, but here we have example number one, Justin Waller, who's not actually an expert and who was just a meek little fucking personal trainer not less than 2 years ago. Okay. "Oh, but what about the steel industry?" Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Okay, then we have next on the list when I search for a fitness coach, fitness here, Kevin Atterbury Training. Wait a second here. I thought he was just very recently $5 of infield and over 1,000 testimonials. Okay, he doesn't have anything like that. Fitness. Here he is bragging about how much money he's made just because he has a podcast now, expert who can parrot by pretending to be dating experts. Okay, so use your a guy that devoted 15 years of his life to the game, and you have these complete fucking cocksucker clowns.
So, like again, like if you were successful in the steel industry, why would you become a personal trainer? Like if you already had success, like why wouldn't you just open a gym? You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you just just open a gym. You know what I mean? But let's see.
Winners only see green, because the truth of the matter is, like, I own a business, right? I have a bunch of employees. If somebody turns up and does their job and they're profitable for my company, I cannot afford to give a fuck about their race, religion, hair, gender, any of that stuff, because it's too hard to find people that work really hard. A great example of that is LeBron James has been in the NBA for years because he puts out motherfucking results, and he's not worried and living, oh, I'm black, I can't play in the league. But you could say that for I know plenty of successful young black men.
Okay, number one, that is the stupidest example I've ever heard in my life. The, the whole NBA is basically black. So what are you talking about, bro? Like the league is basically black. I mean, don't get it wrong. Like you have some imported talent now. Shout outs to them. Shout outs to Djokovic doing his thing in Denver Nuggets. Shout outs to what else is his name? Ricky Rubio. You know, shout outs to those guys. You got some, but let's be honest. The team, like the NBA, is mostly black. So that was like the dumbest example to give. You know, that's the thing. Now let's look at this. Let's look at this.
The reason that I think they should keep doing the Fresh and Fit podcast. What they're doing, they're having to use real force to expose the underlying nature of women, but they're exposing that underlying nature to women to a guy that probably watched Disney movies and thinks he needs to send flowers. Because what's
I think at this point, dudes are pretty much hip. I mean, like the thing is, yeah. I mean, I've even talked to other dudes. Like I've talked to fathers, and they're already getting their sons passports. You know what I mean? And their sons are in high school. So the thing is I don't think that I don't think that dudes are really still thinking like that. That, oh, you know, I need to like romance her and sweep her off her feet. I'm pretty sure like the gap is pretty close thus far. So it's kind of ridiculous at this point that he advocates fresh and fit, and I'm gonna show why. Like why would you advocate it? You know.
going to happen? He's going to see Myron kick a girl out after blatantly exposing her nature. He's going to start looking for that, because really in real life it happens in subtleties. But without seeing Myron and Walt put those girls on such a platform and expose that female nature, he's never going to catch the subtleties in his girlfriend taking that girl's trip. He's going to get guilted into thinking, oh, you're insecure. So I think the balance that these types of shows brings are going to help the normal guy. The reason that I think they should keep doing the
Okay. Now let's look at uh and there was nothing, this was like not necessary, okay, because I F with this podcast. And the reason why I F with this podcast is because the reason why I F with this podcast is because it is more chill, you know, and you got people hating on it, you know, and it's like, bro, like why are you hating on something where when they're just riding their own wave? You know, like this is like, you know, this kind of made me see that, yo, these dudes are hating, you know. But let me go to it real quick. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, here we go.
Estrogen is killing men. Estrogen is the primary female hormone that's stimulated by the brain into production that influences you.
I just want to point out that the only person who was trying to defend themselves from accusations of racism was John Zerka over here by saying that I'm just reading studies. I'm not trying to be racist or anything like that.
I changed my mind. I'm racist. Fuck these liberals.
Okay.
What the fuck?
W racism.
Anything else, Miss Edinburgh?
Yes, I had a really good time on this podcast. I've been on like 2 dating type podcasts in the last week, and I will say that this was the superior experience to that one.
Facts.
She got castled
Yeah.
on whatever it is salty.
Yeah, whatever sucks.
Okay, the only reason why whatever sucks is because she wouldn't answer any questions on whatever. That's the only reason why she's saying it sucked. She didn't answer any questions on the podcast, bro. Like, so why would you show up if you ain't gonna answer any questions? Like, what was the point of you even showing up to the podcast then? You know? Hold on.
Y'all got, how'd y'all get kicked off? The fuck?
Because she did exactly what she's doing now. She's just argue and argue.
No.
Dude, that whatever podcast makes me hate white people. It's so fucking boring.
So, like, it's like, bro, like, there was no need for that. Like, just because she, like, for example, I don't like Fresh and Fit podcasts, but it's not going to just make me say, oh, I don't like Sudani people, or oh, I don't like Caribbean people because the hosts are Sudani and Caribbean. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't like their podcasts. It's just the same thing over and over, week after week. You know what I mean?
It's so fucking boring, bro. They're trying to copy. It's so fucking vanilla. It's so boring, man. It's like I couldn't watch 1 minute, and I like that kind of content. So fucking boring. And also, they don't want to have me on. They watch my clips.
Wait, so they really kicked you off? Like, for what? For arguing?
For arguing, for being too combative, yeah.
What?
No, for not answering any questions. You weren't answering any questions on the podcast. That's where they kicked you off.
Yeah, no, it's white people over there.
I mean,
But we might go back because they were like inviting us back on the podcast for like a rematch with Brian and Chase and like whoever, maybe MLD, like Jonathan.
It's a watered down Andrew Tate.
MLD is in
MLD
desperate and is in dire need for people to beat up on because he is really hurting right
He
now.
needs some rehab right now.
Yeah, he does.
But yeah, had a great time. I always love debating.
I mean, that girl is fat, but whatever.
He should have owned it. He should have been like, yeah, then yes, I said
think he
that, and
genuinely
you're a
didn't
fat
remember.
bit.
So, again, Myron. Now, the thing is about the girl, I think the girl was like an Asian woman. Yeah, and I went over this on the last show. That Asian woman, while that guy was calling her fat, again, I say, like, okay, you called her fat, but you yourself are like lightweight, overweight. So, what are we really talking about here? Again, when these guys make these points, I'm just thinking in my head, like, bro, like, please make it make sense to me. Like, please make it make sense, And, unfortunately, it doesn't make any sense, you know.
I mean,
He should have been like, what?
You don't remember her.
What did I type? I don't remember typing any such thing. Well, can you explicitly tell me what I? He's like, oh.
You really forget the girls that come on. Like,
Okay, here's my question though. You're a blue check mark. You have like a bunch of. I don't even have time. I'm not a blue check. I'm like a nobody. I don't have time
I feed my
to
family.
be
so
in
I'm
the
not
comments.
Huh?
You get paid to be in other people's comments.
No, I go live and do the real shit.
Okay, so there was another thing too, and this show, and this goes to show you. Okay, this is what I'm gonna go to show you. It goes to show you that there is an elite in the Red Pill Manosphere space. That there's like actually an elite group. Okay, an elite group in the whole Manosphere Red Pill space. And of course, most of us are not going to get a look into that group. Let me see. Let me see here. Okay. Let me see. I think what happened is they were actually together. They actually did it together. They actually were in the same I want to say they were in the same podcast. They were on the same stream together. I gotta find it though. Hold on, just give me a minute. Let me find it. Hold on. Let's see.
Myron now. You got
Okay, here we
competition.
go. Here we go.
So without that live stream and
Keep running the clip. Who's that weird nigga that can't speak?
So again, you have Sneeko who said, like, you know, he converted to Islam. You know, you said, you know, you have Sneeko, he said he converted to Islam, but yet, like, you see him and he's actually like, I want to say he's kind of like um endorsing un-Islamic things. Now let's look.
Who's that? He black as hell. Bate man. Yeah, let's keep going. Holy shit, who's this gay nigga here with the
So you see him, and I think he's imitating. And granted, I don't watch Abba and Preach either. You know, I don't watch them either. As a matter of fact, I don't even know what their channel is about, really. To be honest. But you see him though, and then you see him like obviously doing some racist things, but he probably thinks, okay, well, you know, I'm from Sudan and maybe, you know, I'm Arabic speaking or I come from Arabic speaking, but that does not discount my blackness. You look at the comment section of the stream, and mostly what you see is basically a lot of, you know, laughing emojis, and I guarantee you these are the same people who would call me simp for not agreeing with these individuals. But let's continue.
Red, what the fuck is going on? What entire nation fucking pussy shit is that? I know that preach
Not respect to minorities. What the fuck? Stop!
What?
I want to get another one.
So hold on.
Stop!
So
Stop!
Holy shit, who's this gay nigga here with the red? What the fuck is going on? What entire nation fucking pussy shit is that? I know that preach
Not respect to minorities.
So now he's holding up like a Nazi fascist. Like he's holding up yeah, little by little he's starting to do it, but he's still in this um he's still in the like in the space. But now you see Myron, I think, throwing up a fascist Nazi salute, in which you see it, ironically, when you watch the war in Ukraine. You know, my Telegram is full of it. You know, my Telegram is full of like that thing. But nevertheless, these are the guys that they follow.
What the fuck? Stop!
What?
I want to get another one.
There right now. He puts there probably swinging around eating some bananas. Fucking stupid bitch. Preach is crying right now, swinging from a monkey ranch,
Bro.
eating a banana, playing some Donkey Kong on an N64 because he's a stupid prick. He's a window licking stupid nigga.
What?
So again, you know, like, and you would think that this is a joke, but again, you know, when you have the ER at the end, you have to ask yourself, okay, is it really a joke? You know what I mean? Like, is it really a joke or is it really serious? You know what I mean? So you know, this is where we're at, bro. This is unfortunately where we're at in this situation.
What?
Fat ugly white.
Hey.
Oh, that spin. I like that. I like that.
This video that
we
we
got these
responded to?
niggas running like it's an employment line.
What the?
What?
That's
Don't do that.
crazy,
We'll
bro.
find you.
Like that's crazy. The live.
See, you motherfuckers are losers. I'm roasting y'all right now. Continue on, Ching.
Yes. Okay.
Pause.
Like, how was this supposed to be a clapback and try to empower men?
Like this nigga is fucking stupid. What do you mean? What do you mean I'm unhinged?
Like, he's scaring his homeboys he with. How the fuck you take it too far on Rumble?
I'll roast you motherfuckers until the end. You
So it's
fucking
okay for you to be racist as long as you're roasting them for calling you racist. I wouldn't be able to.
So now I want you to take a look at something. You have the usual suspects, okay? You have Mr. Fuentes, okay, we already know what he's about. He's a hell of a right winger. You know, like we already know that he's a very much right winger dude. You have just poopy things as well, right? And then you have Fresh and Fit, and you just have her skinning and grinning. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, she came into the space, okay? And we're gonna get to her too. I got smoke for her as well. She came into the space and she tried to mention points that she thought, you know, it was all lip service. Because here's the thing. If you were like really about what you were talking about, you would have been had a man by now. But as I know, she doesn't have no man. You know, nobody's put a ring on it. I mean, I'm pretty sure she gets a lot of DMs because of her notoriety, but it's not from the guys that she wants. And she wants the same guys that she complains about other women only settling for or wanting to get. But let's continue.
Yeah, it's a couple of.
You know it's rough when Nick Fuentes think you did too much.
They need a black guy gonna out.
Goes to show how things have changed. Because I remember when Dave Chappelle did the Clayton Bigsby shit back in the day, it was fucking hilarious. But nowadays you do that shit, they're like, oh my god, just goes to show how pussified we've become.
Nah, motherfucker. No, it's different when your ass is like trying to, bro. It's always been like some dog. Like you trying to fucking.
I can conclude that he's also a monkey.
Okay.
So again, you know, throwing these M words out, throwing this M word out, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Not knowing that if he had it his way, you would be the same thing, according to Nick Fuentes. And you see that Just Poopy thinks is actually smiling about him saying that. You know what I mean? It's actually kind of crazy and actually kind of cringe. But let's continue.
Like, bro, I'm
And
ready.
it's like get the energy. Since I'm black, I can say it. Nah, fam. No, you can't, bro. Like
cool. Now, let's fucking do it.
Hey guys, when we speak,
that's like confusing. You want to call me racist? Okay.
we take turns.
No, Nick, no, not you.
No. Kidding. I can't do it. Yeah.
What the fuck?
I heard that some of y'all were raising the salute, so I decided to come back.
Let's go. Poor
Nigga,
Steve.
Fuentes is hyped for this shit, bro. That's crazy, dog. That's crazy, bro.
Pearl rolls out. Oh, come on.
No,
we're done. Let's go.
No,
let's go. We're done.
So now Rumble, you know, Rumble allows more freedom and stuff like that. So, you know, the fact of the matter is he can do those fascist salutes and stuff like that and get away with it. You know what I mean? But let's continue.
Down for whatever.
Let's do it.
Honestly, when he started speaking about black women in the past, I'd already suspected he had negative emotions or feelings about black people.
About the black dating app called Black. Oh, it's funny. I never used that one, bro. But hey, man.
I mean, hey, bro, if you want to date a bunch of Shaniquas, go for it, man.
Well, the thing is, and this is what I say to anybody, like, and this is just my personal view. I mean, I don't think any man should use a dating app, regardless. I'm of the opinion that you just have to go completely rogue. You know what I mean? Like you have to go completely rogue and not use any dating app, regardless, you know. And I would even say that you shouldn't even be on a damn Muslim dating app. You know, like the thing is, it's like, what is this? Like Muslims, we don't date, bro. So this is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you just have to stay away from them altogether. Okay. Well, let's continue.
LaQuisha.
Yeah, like me and Fresh aren't really down with the brown like that. We ain't night riders.
No,
so
bro, I'm good.
You know, sometimes if they're red bone, but like in general, me and
God
Fresh don't
damn,
dabble in the
bro.
dark.
Like it's one thing to just not be attracted to him.
Yeah, you don't have to do all that, you know. But now let's look at another red pillar elite. Now this woman, you know, I'm not gonna even lie to, you know, as crazy as it sounds, this woman has some, and I know she's probably like a feminist type woman, but she has like, there's some, you know, I'm, as much as I hate to say this, you know what I mean? Like, I really hate to say this, bro. I really hate to say this. I know she's a feminist. You know, I know she's like a feminist and stuff like that. But I know that, you know, she has like, you know, what I mean, you know, she has a little bit of a appeal to her. You know, there's a little bit of an appeal. Not gonna sit here and cap, you know. But let's look at her um and see what she has to say about just poopy things. Wonder if she deleted her videos. Hold on, let me see. See. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Let's look.
At Boar's Head, our Everything Bagel Hummus offers a savory twist. Crafted with authentic spices like real everything seasoning to achieve a distinct balance of texture and flavor. Everything Bagel Hummus from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
Hi, this is English with an Ella, and you should come with me to italki. Ta-da! Oh, that.
All right, you gotta go, man. You gotta go.
All right, bye.
You gotta go. You're wild.
That 10K viewers.
This might be your platform, but respect people when they come on your platform.
Okay, goodbye. Go.
Put everyone proud on you, bro.
So that's why she's angry.
Get out. Get the out of my apartment. Get out.
Alternatively, if that gets boring, you can tune into an episode of Why Men Cheating is Actually Okay.
Right? Men really have to work to become attractive. That's why I laugh at y'all when you tell me, well, men shouldn't cheat and they shouldn't do this. Men have to bust their ass to become attractive to even be seen.
What if a woman cheats? Can men accept that?
She belongs to the street.
You don't think it's different for men and for women cheating?
No.
I actually think that like women like to be cheated on.
Okay. Again, some people just say things and don't think before they talk. And the reality is this, okay? I'm just gonna say this. If a guy is a certain status, maybe she wouldn't mind getting cheated on. But to say liked getting cheated on, no. Okay, that's not it. You know, this is not happening. But let's continue.
Pearl didn't always have these takes. In fact, she used to say the polar opposite, especially about Fresh and Fit, who she is now emulating.
I know a lot of girls that actually waited until they were married and stayed a virgin until they were married. And I can tell you that the guys on Fresh and Fit podcast would never be able to pull a girl like that.
It's interesting considering that Pearl's current branding revolves around telling women that their standards are too high and that if you want a high value man that you have to tolerate him cheating.
People think I'm condoning cheating. People think I'm encouraging cheating. No.
Like I think if a woman cheats, she's trying to leave you. If a man cheats,
Yes.
he's just like
He's
it's
getting
like
off.
it's like a handshake.
Women act like this is the most unforgivable thing, that he is the ultimate bad guy, the ultimate demon if he does this. I'm sorry, sometimes you contributed to it. And women take no accountability for that. And that he wants to go to the bar with his buddies because you make that shit a hellhole. Because you are so unpleasant to be around. And that man forgives you for all of that shit, but you can't forgive him for stepping out once, twice.
Now, the thing is, I mean, in any guy who's logical, you know, he's gonna see the red flags and be like, yeah, you know, I'm not dealing with this woman anymore. Now, unfortunately, some guys do fall into the trap where, you know, it's unfortunate, you know, this is unfortunate, but it does happen where, you know, the marriage the relationship starts off great, the sex is good, things like that. But then once, you know, she has you reeled in, all of that dries up. So then it becomes a matter of like, okay, well, then you have to understand that, yeah. Then you're kind of like, it's kind of like you're pushed to the edge. You don't know what you're going to do. You know what I mean? So that I understand. I get that. You know, I completely get it 100%, you know. But let's continue.
You guys are crazy.
It's just a little cheating. No big about women, back to them as a woman.
I feel like when men love women, it's like women have more conditions for them to be like really in love.
For a man to love a woman, she does not have to jump through as many hoops and meet as many requirements as for a woman needs to love a man.
Just like Fresh and Fit, Pearl spouts a lot of the same double standards that promote sociopathy, especially in teaching men to have destructive behaviors.
Most men always get looked upon like they're not a hoe. Why is it different for women than it is for men?
It's easy for us to get sex, and men getting sex is hard. So if they do what's hard, it's valued. If we do what's easy, it's not.
I am so enlightened by Pearl.
Now, the thing is that yes, women are the gatekeepers to X. You know, everybody knows that. But it's not really necessarily that difficult for a man to get X. You know, all he literally has to do is like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying you should pay for it, but I mean, it's available. If you really are down bad, it's available to get paid for. You know what I mean? Like you can pay for it. It's not really that difficult to get it. You know what I mean? And if you really, really want it, if you really decided, okay, like, yeah, you know, I want to have it, then yeah, you can pay for it, bro. It's not hard. It's not really hard to do. Yeah, it's not hard at all.
Pearl teaching us how being a man will magically eliminate all of the consequences of cheating. Like breaking your trust with your partner by lying to them, getting another woman pregnant that you now have to support, humiliating your wife, causing family dysfunction, and bringing home disease.
If a man cheats, it's like a handshake.
That is one hell of a handshake, Pearl. And promoting promiscuity is a great way to help create the single moms that her podcast actively speaks out against.
Their mating strategy is they don't want to pass on resources to another man's kid. Like that's why they're repulsed by hoes. That's why they're repulsed by like other people's children.
If single motherhood should be avoided, then perhaps Pearl should consider not contributing to the problem by promoting promiscuity to her male audience. If you're smart like Fresh and Fit or Pearl, you can just reframe promoting sociopathy to men as advocating for them, even if the only thing it does is promote dysfunction and make more men lonely by fear-mongering them about relationships.
I feel like a lot of men have a good reason for avoiding marriage today.
I love it.
And even a woman can seize your assets even if you're just living together. It varies from state to state. I know the chat, but it's like if she leaves her stuff at your apartment for like a period of 3 months, she can literally seize your assets.
We are just warning you of what female nature is.
You're probably wondering by now, where is Pearl's ring? Well, I'm here to inform you that Pearl is single and unmarried at 26 years old.
Yeah, so like I'm gonna be honest with you. Like the rubber with Pearl, the rubber has already met the road. You know what I mean? And the thing is with Pearl, is that she wants the same guys that she's talking about that she's complaining that only women want. That's the thing. She wants one of those guys. You know what I mean? So for example, like let's just say maybe a guy works at an oil refinery or something. She wouldn't want that guy. You know what I mean? That's the thing. But let's continue.
And the reason I decided to go to therapy is because in the next 5 to 7 years, ideally, some things are out of your control, but ideally I'd like to be married.
Get up to $26,000 per employee back in tax rebates in just 2 days.
Which, according to her, is because she is too picky.
You're single over a certain age, you're probably too picky.
And I say that it's because she's too picky because she claims that 28 years old is pretty old to be getting married.
What do men value? Third thing men value, youth. How are they getting youth when the average age of first marriage for women in the US is 28.6 years old?
Pearl is lucky if she can get married by 28 years old because she's 26, and even if she met Mr. Right today, you would still usually have to be engaged for at least a year, and then usually people, if they're going fast, wait another year before getting married, putting her at 28 years old if they're going fast by today's standards. And Pearl doesn't have much long-term experience in dating either. According to this interview on Yahoo News and what Pearl says online about her dating experiences on various podcasts, she's only had a couple of boyfriends. If you can do the math of her being 23 in the Yahoo interview, they couldn't have been that long considering she just turned 26 in the past couple of months. And that got me interested in knowing who is Pearl picking, considering that anytime a guy does something wrong, no matter what it is, she tells women to simply just pick better.
Okay, so then you pick guys that cheat.
I discovered that last year Pearl tweeted about a breakup she had, so I decided to go ahead and check the archives. And it turns out that Pearl actually got catfished by an obese man with 2 children on TikTok.
Baby, when did we start dating?
Yep, that's right. An obese man with 2 children on TikTok.
So you see here, she got a Pookie, and obviously she stayed with that Pookie. But that's beside the point. Let's continue.
One month ago, and it might surprise you to learn that she's a professional athlete. And despite her lack of self-care, she still likes to spout a lot of statistics about fat women, despite being corrected on this by Destiny on her live stream.
There's a lot of fat people. Fat
No,
people stay with fat
But
people.
women by and large are fatter than men.
No.
Women, and if you go in the U.S., the woman's always fatter. BMI.
So in the U.S., the average BMI for a man is 26.6, and the average BMI for a woman is 26.5.
Oh, I stand corrected.
But even after he
Now, the thing about Destiny too, like, you know, if you're a guy, you shouldn't take advice from him because he's a cuckold. You know, he's a full cuckold. So, like, obviously, like, what advice can a cuckold give you? You know what I mean? So, like, you again, um, it just goes on to show you how many characters there are in this web of things.
he corrected her, she continued to misrepresent the statistic.
How can we say that as a whole in the US and the West we're good wives when 80% of us are overweight and that's the number one thing that men value? There's a lot of room for improvement with Western women. 70% of us are overweight. The average man makes more than the average woman, but the average woman is fatter than the average man.
So in the U.S., the average BMI for a man is 26.
Get married so badly.
Apparently, if I want results in life, I have to start talking to boys. Yeah, wife me up if you're in the London area. You know?
Yeah, you know, that's like, you know, again, as crazy as it sounds, um, hold on just a minute. Just give me a minute. Now, again, like, um, you can tell she has no experience, you know what I mean? And you can tell the way she talks is just like, it's just like, bro, this reeks of like awkwardness in a way.
In terms of purity, Pearl's not a virgin. In fact, she's so reluctant to say her body count that she's willing to just lie.
How many people have you slept with? Do you hear this out?
No.
You ask everybody that. And you don't say your own number?
What? No, I don't ask everyone. I don't think I've ever asked. No, I don't even ask body count. Would you say your body count?
I don't know.
No. No, I don't even ask. I'll always say how many bodies is too many bodies. So I have a question. Would you guys say your body count?
No.
So if it doesn't matter, like, why don't people just say it?
She chose to lie because she felt embarrassed. And despite
So, I mean, with that being said, you know, she's a cuck too. You know, and so that's why I'm saying you wouldn't, it's not wise to take it, like, you know what I mean? Like, so I wouldn't want to take advice from someone who's a cuckold, you know what I mean? Like, that would be intuitive to a man who wants to be a real man. You know, like you taking advice from a cuckold with blue hair, you know, at that. And this is no disrespect, but we already know that this is the case. But when it comes to Pearl, it seems like that the same women, and I'm not making an assumption or anything, but when it comes to Pearl, it seems like the same women she was talking about who rode the cock carousel, she was one of the women who rode the cock carousel as well.
Pearl preaching about the importance of women's chastity, Pearl actually wanted to partake in hookup culture.
But I swear to God, like, guys don't try to sleep with me.
Really?
like, I swear to God, I've been on a date and I would have something and you just never tried. I was like, oh, okay. And I think the guy didn't even touch me once.
Yeah.
He touched me once, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't really have guys approach me often.
It could be the clothes.
It seems like she barely knew him and wanted to hook up with him, but he didn't want to. So, according to Pearl, I guess we shouldn't be taking her advice, considering that she can't attract men even for casual encounters.
I've noticed a lot of therapists are like older single women, and I'm kind of like, if you can't maintain a relationship, why would I take advice from you? This is just something I've noticed. But I haven't spent a ton of time in therapy, but then I'm like, yeah, like, why would I take advice from you if you can't maintain a relationship?
And she thinks what's holding her back is the fact that she's like 6 feet tall.
I would say if there's one thing that's held me back in dating, it is the height.
But I think it's because of her desperation, and they can sense it along with her low standards.
And if a guy has all the things that you look for, he might cheat.
Yeah.
So how can I be that mad if he cheats when it's like I picked him?
Would you accept if he's just stepping up but not getting anyone pregnant?
Are we married?
No, you're in a relationship.
I think if I'm being truly honest with myself, for the right guy, I probably would.
How many times?
I don't know how many times.
She's basically announcing to the world, hey, I'm Pearl. I'll tolerate cheating. Please marry me. So imagine the kind of men she's attracting. And it seems like her dating life in general just has not gone well.
He was older than me.
Oh, okay.
So he had girlfriends before me. 2 weeks after we ended it, he starts dating a new girl. I think he's gonna marry that girl, or did. I don't really know. Yeah, I was obsessed. I was so sad because I felt like I waited because I was a sophomore in college when I lost my virginity. So I was halfway through college. It's late. Yeah.
It's not about you. I'm gonna drop something. It's the timing.
Well, no. It was because he literally went on to marry the next girl. So it was something. But
Empathy is nowhere to be found if the wife is put in a bad position. For example, Pearl went on a podcast and told her story about how her male role model in her life, her coach who worked one-on-one with her since she was 14, turned out to be a groomer.
Because I remember saying you can tell me stuff you don't tell your parents. I remember looking at him like a dad, for a while, because I saw him so much. He told me before I went to college, that I was going to get a bunch of attention from boys because of my butt.
And as soon as she turned 18, he tried to sleep with her and shove alcohol down her throat, which, by the way, for those of you that don't know, the legal drinking age in America is 21.
And he's like, oh, come take a shot at the gym. He was waiting till girl
the other gender. And considering she went through something so terrible, you would think she would be empathetic. But instead, she's so profit-driven that if somebody else told her this same story, she would side with the predator. She seems to give no nuance and no defense of women, no matter what the situation is, even if what happened when they were children.
I'm pretty sure social media is some of the most damaging stuff for young girls in middle school and high school because of how much information they're bombarded with in terms of beauty standards and how they look. But you guys are well, but Instagram helps them get flown out to Dubai. So I think
it does.
It's you're totally disconnected from the real world.
I mean, it also lets you catfish the hell out of men. With these freaking Instagram filters.
It's based on the media that they consume and the images around them. That's just absolutely true.
Freaking who?
What happened to the accountability?
So I mean, who knows? She probably catfished a couple of men. She probably made some things look like that what they're not supposed to be. In essence, that's probably what she did.
She's holding the kids more accountable than she's holding the men for not checking if it's a real person.
With the kid. How often do you think a mom is hiding the kid from the husband? Give me a percentage.
I don't know.
Before on her channel, she actually used to be more nuanced and actually criticized the Manosphere for not acknowledging exceptions.
I know that one girl that makes more money than her husband, or whatever the exception is to the rule. And we see it, I think, more often than the Manosphere really gives credit to. I think in general, men don't want to date single mothers. But I know a lot of single mothers that got remarried.
She was even willing to have her virgin friends come on the show to explain their perspective and why they wouldn't sleep with someone with a high body count like the hosts of Fresh and Fit.
We're transforming nostalgic cars into life-size Hot Wheels.
I'll be judging fastly and furiously.
And I'll be judging you personally.
Hot Wheels Ultimate Challenge, Tuesday after AGT on NBC. Staying in the United States after your student visa or your OPT expires is difficult. And H1.
I'm probably going to have a couple friends that waited till they were married to have sex on my podcast to actually talk about what they look for in guys.
Then only a month later, she starts regurgitating Manosphere talking points.
If you get married and it doesn't work out, like women can and will take all of your money.
Pearl doesn't like when you go, but men, in response to her.
And whenever we talk about where the women need to improve, we always need to point the finger at the men.
But the reason people go, but what about men, is because she doesn't seem to address the other half of the equation. Women haven't single-handedly made men cheat, cause obesity, or cause divorce, but Pearl will take it and spin in a way to where women are the blame and men don't take any accountability.
So one thing I will say, and I'm going to admit this. I'm going to admit this. I'm going to straight up admit this. The only mistake we made in this gender war is that men made access too easy. Okay, and what I mean by that is when we started flying women out, when we started signing up started signing up for OnlyFans, when we, I hate to say it, but when we started like just sticking our dinglings in everything that was like pretty much moving, that's when it made things too easy. And because we made access too easy at our resources, we kind of have the situation that we're in right now. You know what I mean? And the thing is about the whole red pill manosphere, this is the thing that we have to realize. Those guys are still sleeping with a lot of the women in which they talk about, in which they talk bad about. They're still sleeping with those women. Okay. A lot of them. So this is the mistake that we made as men. This is why I would say that the mistake we made as men is when we decided to pay for OnlyFans, when we decided to like, I guess you can say, accept accept these kind of things and standards. You know what I mean? This is the only mistake we made as men.
For it. For example, 80% of women initiate divorce is something she will say in order to blame women. But women initiating divorce doesn't necessarily mean that they were in the wrong. If it were the other way around, then you're not really solving solved. She does blood banks, and it's over 2 decades old. Well, it was researched SpongeBob as personal choice, and it's fine. But if you're gonna do that, you need to know your color palette, or you will look even more tired thrifting. But yeah, clearly Pearl your half, or she could have put on a skirt on YouTube and then cut hair. This situation is so, and her tactics remind me a lot of legacy media.
Wait, I want to make a rule. No, it depends. Pick one and tell me why.
Pearl has gained the entirety of her 1 million subscribers from her fear-mongering, lies, and black and white thinking over just this past year. Pearl teaches men to act like hyper-selfish sociopaths, luring them down the dark path of loneliness, unhealthy relationships, and broken homes. Men taking her.
Now, the thing is, and this is what I want to say. This is what I want to say. In a way, you do I hate to say it, and I know I'm going to probably get pushed back. In a way, you kind of have to have some kind of sociopathic nature when it comes to women here in the United States. Now, hear me out. Here's the reason why I say that. Because you have a lot at stake. That's the thing. You have your health, physical health, mental health, emotional health, psychological health. Because many times, okay, I'm just going to be honest, many times you'll see that a guy pours out everything. And then the woman says something like, it's not you, it's me, or something. That guy is going to be left wondering, what did I do? What did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? You know what I mean? That's just a scenario. So what I'm saying is that this has to be taken into consideration. You know what I mean? But let's look at, she may flag me. She may flag me if I she may flag me if I do this. Dang. I don't know if I should look at it. But she's moving back to America for obvious reasons to reset. But I'm trying to think of some other people to you know, look at. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Let's see how I want to actually see how, like, what this guy thinks of the whole just hold on, let me see. What's his name? I need to find this guy's name real quick before I go to him.
There's a powerful voice inside you.
We have a hit, but it's not me. This is something that no one's doing. This man is wild.
I want to deal with a normal, mentally stable, healthy woman. So
You think you're normal? Exactly.
in what sense?
Well, do you think you have healthy habits?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't know this guy's name, but I'll find his name. You know, I'll find his name. But let's look at this and see what happens here. Hold on, let's look.
Lila Rose, president of Live Action, went on to the Whatever podcast and had a fury of an exchange with one of Andrew Tate's goons. I don't know if I should call him Andrew Tate's goon, but he's a funny guy nevertheless. I don't know. I think some of Andrew Tate is a character. I don't think this guy's a character. I think this is him. I think this is him in real life. So it starts with them talking about family. And yes, that's absolutely.
Had your kids, had your wife.
Explicit.
Now,
Explicit. Explicit.
First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, look at the body language. Look how uncomfortable this dude looks. And I don't know if what's up with, is it a desk? Is it a table? Like, what's going on here? But the way he's sitting with his back turned to a female that he's on a panel with, is really weird.
Who's engaging with him?
Who's trying to talk to him? Just body language alone. I'm not a body language expert, but this just comes off bizarre.
It could be one of those things where like he's very camera aware.
Well, I might like family more than you. So much I have 5.
Do you think that's a good thing to have multiple families?
I think it's good if there's one dad and there's not a bunch of step parents involved, and the dad can be the hero, and those 5 families live a 10x better life than they would have otherwise. Just ma'am, I do.
But you don't think that it will be ultimately an opportunity for jealousy or disharmony amongst
women? Are always
going
going to be jealous. What's changed about that? Women have been jealous all the way through time. So
I'm not jealous in my marriage.
I don't care about your marriage. I'm talking about mine. What my life is going to be. So I don't answer to you. So that's my answer. I'm gonna run my situation.
Yeah, no, it's definitely him. It's not the table, because it's just the way his arm is. His body language is guarded, and he's blocking her. And so she's pressing him about this idea of having a bunch of families and a bunch of marriages and all this stuff. And he's like, "Rah! I'm gonna do what I want." Right?
I want to. And generally, when I do that, that's when I have the most happiness, let's say, in my life. So that's all.
And this is when we talk about the red pill is feminism for men, aka meninism.
Yeah.
Listen to what he said. Pull that back one more time. I want you guys to listen carefully to the nonsense he said.
And generally, when I do that, that's when I have the most happiness, let's say, in my life. So that's all.
He sounds like a female.
Yeah, that sounds like the Fresh and Fit.
Forget accountability. Forget being someone that is a competent man. It's about my happiness. It's about my happiness and what makes me happy. It's not about how your kids are going to view you. It's not about what kind of legacy you leave. It's not about the.
You know, I think what I'm gonna do real quick. I think what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna segue into one of the guys who is my inspiration, who I can listen to for inspiration and for lessons versus these red pill guys. I think I'm gonna listen to him. Okay. Now listen to him, and you can tell that he drops gorilla biscuits, as we say. Okay? He drops gorilla biscuits. All right. Now listen to him.
Voyez-vous, l'impérialisme a tort. Mais l'impérialisme est un mauvais élève. C'est un mauvais élève. Quand il est battu, quand il est renvoyé de la classe, il revient encore. C'est un mauvais élève. Il n'a jamais appris la leçon de son échec.
So, if you look at Thomas Sankara, right, and listen to what he says, and then you think about what's going on right now, okay, like with feminism and stuff like that, you can call feminism a bad student, because it never learns. And it never learns the lessons of its failures either. So again, you don't need these red pill guys to tell you anything. Hey, if anything, I would say listen to the guys who came before, who necessarily weren't red pillars, but just were radical niggas. As a matter of fact, today I just ordered another book on Thomas Sankara.
Il n'a jamais tiré la leçon de son échec. Il est là-bas en Afrique du Sud, en train d'étaler, en train d'égorger les Africains, simplement parce que ces Africains pensent à la liberté, comme vous aujourd'hui. L'impérialisme, il est là-bas, en train d'écraser les peuples arabes, c'est le sionisme. L'impérialisme est partout. Et à travers sa culture qu'il répand, à travers ses fausses informations.
And so this is the thing. When you look at what he's saying, everything that he's saying is happening today. What is feminism doing? Spreading misinformation. What are some of these red pillars doing? Spreading misinformation. Okay? The thing is, what we have to understand is when you look at the red pillars, okay? most of their lives are not parallel to your life. Okay, your reality is quite different. So how are they going to tell you about your reality when your reality is quite different? When you didn't have a silver spoon in your mouth, when you didn't have these connections, when you didn't have what you would call it, a meal ticket to be like a strong man at Hustlers University. You know what I mean? That's my point.
Il nous amène à penser comme lui. Il nous amène à nous soumettre à lui, à nous soumettre. Il nous amène à nous soumettre à lui, à le suivre dans toutes ses manœuvres. De grâce, il faut que nous barrions la route à cet impérialisme.
Too based. He was too based. So I segued it a little bit, but let me get back to my original content, you know. Hold on just a minute.
Try killing bugs the worry-free way, not the other way. Zevo traps use light, not odors or chemical insecticides, to attract and trap flying insects. They work continuously, so you don't have to. Zevo, people-friendly, bug-deadly.
I am a new business owner now in Latin America, and I know that a lot of you English speakers look to me for motivation.
The best players, period, for whatever. Okay. The issue with that was, what the hell's happening to the red pill? Let me know.
Whatever, and you were just in this phase of
What would you say?
All doing that. I guess so. So
Oh, there it is. He folded. They got him to fold. Then and there, it was over. I guess so.
okay, you're mad because I said you're 40 pounds overweight.
Let's see.
A couple other people from Japan contacted me and said that this guy was charged for bottling a woman in the face after she rejected him at a club.
So, again, these guys, like, they think they're entitled to certain women and things like that. And it's like, okay, when when a woman rejects them, then it becomes like an issue of like, okay, well, since she rejected me, now I got to go upside her head. You know what I mean? And that makes no sense at all. But, this is where we are in this situation. This is where we are in this situation. But let's continue.
This went to court. He settled out of court. The woman has a scar across her face.
So you remember that Modern Life dating guy from the last video that was on the Whatever podcast talking about how women just need to be able to endure. If they are in a troubled relationship where their husband is just hitting them with that, then they need to be able to stay in the relationship and endure. Well, apparently Abba and Preach got receipts on something that dude was doing, because he came out with a whole apology video, not an apology video, a clarification video. But without further ado, let's just see what happened.
You got to endure. People are too.
You want to stick in the relationship?
People are just. People I'm gonna be nowadays honest. are just.
What about if two people get married, they have a kid, and then the wife starts cheating? Do you think they should divorce?
Jesus himself said in cases of adultery, divorce is
So you think that
permissible.
divorce is worse than physical abuse?
For the
Or
children,
cheating. Sorry, you think that cheating is worse than physical abuse?
for the
Sorry.
children, yes.
Absolutely
I think I'm not going to say this is
divorce.
worse.
Divorce
I mean,
is worse
I-
for the
I-
children.
Yeah. So he's going around explaining what he meant.
3 days later. But I did say if there was one instance, because relationships, every relationship has fights. Every relationship has ups and downs. Anybody who says otherwise is a liar. Okay, there's conflict in relationships. Period. Even the happiest couples in the world, they have conflict. And anybody who denies that, like I said, they're lying.
I think you just substituted or slipped something in there very slickly as if it made so your argument. Nobody said there aren't conflicts in relationship.
That's not what's
Nobody said there aren't fights in a relationship. What people said is just because those things exist doesn't mean you put your hands on your partner during one.
Even once.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It is never okay to put your hands on your partner. Never. Unless you are defending yourself in fear for your life. But I mean, pushing, pulling, grabbing in a hostile way, it's never okay. As men, that's part of what we have to do is be able to control ourselves.
I don't want any history of trauma. I've dealt with those kind of fucking nutbags, and I don't ever want to deal with it ever again. I want to deal with a normal, mentally stable, healthy woman. So,
You think you're normal? Exactly.
in what sense?
Well, do you think you have healthy habits?
My boy said, in what sense? No, he's not normal. He's off the rocker. Look at him.
Do you think you have healthy habits?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Some motherfuckers must really hate you because after the last video, I just got people sending me everything. What did you say?
I punched a Latina bitch in the face at Rockon.
Wow. So again, you see these red pillars, okay, and things that you would think that they don't do. You know what I mean? Th- Yeah, they're involved in it. This is kind of like crazy to say, but yeah, this is what it is. So why? And the thing is, the thing is, and this is what's crazy about the whole situation is like, why would you want to say that on the computer that yeah, I punched the female? Why would you want to even put that out there, that information out there? Like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? Why would you put that information out there that you hit a woman? That's something that I would hope, like, keep to yourself.
Oh my God. Did you send this on Instagram or something? Like, bro, what is this? They got you in 4K? Ultra HD? And you ain't have no respect on the name. Come on, bro. Another red pillar down, bro. 3 down. I don't know how many to go.
What's Rockon? It's a club in Japan. He lives over there.
Of course he lives in Japan.
He was talking shit to some guy. I guess people just linking the group chats. He was talking shit to some guy, and the guy said to him, well, at least I've never been arrested for glassing a bitch. And he's like, yo, why are you so sensitive? Are you going to leave next? So that's the MLD saying, like, why are you so sensitive? Why are you bringing that up? And the guy says, I'm not sensitive, just giving back some. And then MLD says, you act like that's the last bitch I'll smite on this planet.
Bro thinks he's a main character in an anime or some shit, I guess.
I think it's very bizarre that someone accuses or says that you bottled a woman in the face, and your response is, that didn't happen. Your response is, are you being sensitive right now? Why are you bringing this up? Then it makes me really think you did do that shit. Also, how would you kill this for being so disgusting? Personally, I think a good old-fashioned bludgeoning is the way to go. Big old monkey wrench to the head. And then he posts her picture in the group chat.
How many of these red pill gurus do we have to call out and expose before y'all stop following this dumb shit? It's almost like the exact dudes who are treating women poorly are also treating women poorly. Wow. The men who treat women poorly or talk about treating women poorly on these stupid little podcasts are also treating women poorly in their personal life. But no, I already know how the red pill community works. Y'all are gonna backpedal and make 30,000 different excuses for this instead of growing a pair of cojones and manning up. That's what it's about. Accountability. This your man's? Y'all claiming him? He's part of the same community. And I mean, what a disgusting way to talk about somebody. I get it's the group chat and people say wild stuff in the group chat all the time, but that's a little like, bro, you a little weird.
I don't want a traumatized woman in my life.
Time to beat Aya. I'm gonna beat Aya for not being pretty enough. Have to beat Aya for letting this happen.
So why is he like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing. I don't advocate, and this is something I'll never advocate. I'll never advocate like beating a woman. You know what I mean? Like, but here again, you see this guy, another red pillar guy, and it's just like, okay, he's advocating like beating a woman. You know what I mean? Um, so again, this just goes to show you what type of time it is with with these these um these dudes, like again, what can you say? Well, I mean, what can you say which hasn't been said before? You know what I mean? But let's continue.
I want to deal with a normal, mentally stable, healthy woman.
I will glass a bitch with a champagne bottle for the honor of the group.
That reminds me, wasn't that other red pill dude that was, what was his name? Didn't he get exposed for like dating a 14-year-old?
Started paralegal school when I was 31 years old, and there was this hot 19-year-old in my class. She was 19 years old who had a 6-year-old, which means what class? She had her child at 13. Have you cheated on me? I wanted her to lie to me, and I wanted her to lie to me so I could just keep up the delusion. She said, honestly, yes. So she comes over, she has like this little cupcake, and she bought me a watch that she knew I was looking at. Then she turns around and lifts up her shirt. There was my name tattooed on the small of her back. Dude, my hand to the man. So I was back in her clutches. So much worse.
How old were you?
I was 31.
Y'all's leaders are falling like bowling pins, bro. It's not a good look.
If this happens, I'll have so much fucking money. I'm gonna glass like 17 inches. Now, mind you, everything here I've been sent screen recordings for, so none of it is like edited photo. So this is him contacting somebody else about the incident in Japan. He goes, and you can see the video as he's scrolling. He says, "Hey, sorry to bother you about this. This guy attacked an innocent girl in Roppongi, and the police found him. I heard he did something to you. Is that true?" And the woman in question, who's Japanese, she goes, "Yes, true. What him make for the girl?" Which I think is her broken English. "Yeah, I know he's a real scumbag. Is it true that he punched you in your face?" And she says, "Yes. What happened with the other girl?" And he says, "Are you sure it's definitely this guy?" To which she replies, "Yes." And so a couple other people from Japan contacted me and said that this guy was charged for bottling a woman in the face after she rejected him at a club. This went to court. He settled out of court. The woman has a scar across her face. She didn't want to come forward and bring this up, nor does she want to be involved because she's been traumatized by the experience since.
Enough.
And people send me messages to people that know her and people know of the incident, and all these are real. I made sure they sent me videos to show me they didn't fake no fucking DMs.
And that was like a club in Japan?
Yeah, and he's also being charged for somebody else in Japan. So why am I bringing all this up?
He over there. Bro was not kidding about glass and stuff. Bro, go to the gym or something. Take out the anger on your pillow, something. I don't know. Who just goes around punching people like that? Like, how much of a bum do you got to be to get rejected and then sock somebody for being rejected?
But when this guy is getting on podcasts talking about he wants a well-adjusted, normal woman who's not traumatized, I'm like, brother, do you hear yourself? Do you see the stuff that you be writing? And then you want to be on a podcast tell women like, yo, listen, if you get hit once or more, endure.
Hey, that was him giving advice to his future wife. It all makes sense now. He said, I'm trying to go to full 12 rounds. I need you to stay on your feet. Good gravy.
And I'll also say this. A lot of people from the last video we did on this topic were saying, oh, you took these guys out of context. Go play the full clip. Go play the full clip. You know, A lot of these guys want to sit on a podcast, and the moment some woman says something radical like, I love to fleece men, they're quick. They get off their fucking seat to put her in her place. You want to rob men of their money through divorce? Absolutely. And you should be calling these women out. Yeah. But then the dude sits beside you and says you should endure getting beaten by your husband or beaten by your wife in a marriage. And all of a sudden, these same people get real quiet. They don't got much.
They don't get quiet. They just say that, hey, no, man, you took them out of context. Yeah. Listen.
It's the group of a million excuses. I've said this time and time again. There's no consistency within the red pill community. There's no consistency. There's double standards everywhere. The men over there are not men. They all coattail off the back of whoever their idol is. I got the Daytona outside my window or something. Anyways, they all coattail off of whoever their idol is at the time, and they just blindly follow him. That's the part that kills me. For a group that claims to be so independent and against the hive mind, and we take the red pill and wake up in reality, y'all realize a lot of red pillers just blindly follow whatever the advice is from whoever their favorite content creator is. When Andrew Tate was talking about all this wild,
so this is like, and then again, I say this is why one guy called me a simp, because of the simple fact that I just didn't like really, I just didn't really align what the talking points of Fresh and Fit. And he called me a simp, and what I mean, like, I was just like, yo, like, is that really necessary? Is that really necessary? Like, when I just I just didn't align, bro. It's just like, yo, what's the problem with me not aligning?
stuff. Anytime Andrew Tate says something ludicrous,
it was, you took him out of context. Oh no, bro, that's not what he actually meant. Or
my favorite excuse,
he's just joking. He's joking. He says things just to be provocative so he can get views.
Does that even sound like a manly thing to do? I'm gonna lie to people so that I can get more money. Goofy.
Nah. Keep the same energy.
Or they'd be like, I don't know what to say. I wouldn't know how to advise somebody. I wouldn't know. Well, what if a woman cheats on her husband? Divorce. All of a sudden, you got plenty of prescriptions.
Keep going in the relationship.
Keep going. You can't divorce, and that's not a real thing.
Even though it might be like physically abusive.
You got to endure. People are too.
You want to stick in the relationship.
People are just.
Look,
people
nowadays
are just.
For anyone that might be in that situation, what would you recommend?
Okay,
endure.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you
what.
It is such an extreme example that I can't give a prescription for what other people should do.
What about if?
What do you mean you can't give a leave? Do you need to be a relationship expert or a mathematician or a psychiatrist or a neurosurgeon to understand that somebody should not be in an environment where their physical safety is threatened? Is that rocket science?
Because I guess what they're trying to say is like if a man is continuously beating a woman
They're talking
in a
about
relationship,
physical abuse. Yeah.
right? So they're trying to say that I'm saying that if a man is continuously beating a woman in a relationship, that he
That
and
she should
her
stay.
should stay and endure the thing. That's not what I said at all. But I did say if there was one instance, because
Okay, so my thing is, okay, and this is my thing. One is enough. One is enough to like actually leave a mark on a woman, impact a woman. One incident is enough. So it's like, okay, well, there shouldn't be any instance, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, so I don't know why he's saying that, one one person should um endure uh one one incident should be endured. But let's continue.
You didn't say that at all. And we can play the tape back.
Play it.
I think sometimes people get on podcasts and start talking. And there's what they say in their head or what they think and feel, and then what they actually say outwardly. Okay. I think he's just doing some damage control now because I think he thinks his take is better. Where it's like, if you get hit once, then you can work things out. I'll be honest with you. I think once is too many times. Personal thoughts.
Go on. You cooking right now.
Things can get heated. Words can be said. You can maybe even punch a wall. When you put your hands on the other person, you cross and this is man or woman. If a woman starts hitting you, I don't even feel that different.
God damn, did you put garlic in there?
Why is that?
You cooking.
Okay.
Hey. No, I think that's actually base. Like, if your partner puts their hands on you, whether man or woman, it's time to go. I'm not going to sit here and have my physical safety threatened by somebody who's supposed to be my safe haven. You get what I'm saying? Like, they're supposed to have my back. If I don't feel safe around you, why are we together?
Well, no, that's not a line I've been in a lot of arguments. Punching my girls never come up, but maybe I don't have the experience. So that's why I'm turning to you.
No. As a matter of fact, there's something that I told her when we was kids, and I told her, never scream at me. If you need some time to reflect, to calm your spirits down because of something that I did, please do so. If I ask you, is there something wrong? And I see there's something wrong, don't tell me, no, there's nothing. Tell me I want to talk about it now, and we'll talk about it later. So we can calm ourselves down. Because once the screaming, the insults, we're not insulting people. That's me. Some of y'all motherfuckers roll like that. I don't even roll like that with my friends.
I wish this is something that I had learned earlier, was what effective and healthy communication, healthy dialogue looks like. Because it's true, even with my friends now, it wasn't always like that. There was a point where I was a little prick and I used to talk to people all kinds of ways, and that was completely my fault. And I've learned from that and I've grown. The point is, communication is extremely important in relationships. Your partner should feel safe to be able to come talk to you. And you guys should also have that understanding of like, hey, if I'm pissed off, you just did something that pissed me off. I get it. Neither of us are perfect, but let's take 2 hours to just calm down, relax, and then we can have a conversation about it. That's really all you need to know about communication. Is just never act on your emotions. Just talk it out and say, hey, I feel like, when you said X, Y, and Z, that kind of made me feel this way because I'm insecure about this issue. Like Preach said, that's how you should be talking to your friends too. It's not just with your partner. You should communicate with people like that in general. You should understand how you feel. You should understand how other people's actions made you feel. And you should be able to effectively and constructively communicate that to those around you. Because you're going to go a lot farther in life. You're going to be able to strengthen your relationships even more. And the more...
Okay. Let's see. Now, one thing about it, okay, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Dating today in America, and I'm gonna be honest, dating today in America, right, is basically, I want to say, is basically impossible. Or you can say it's transactional. You can pretty much say that like dating is transactional now. Okay. So do I recommend dating? No, absolutely not. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend that you should date here. What I recommend you do is again, um, I will be an advocate of it. Save your resources. Okay. Save your resources. Figure out figure out where you want to go. Figure out where you want to go. Go there and live your best life. That's what I recommend. Okay. This is something I recommend. As I said, I will advocate the passport. Okay. I will for sure advocate the passport. So it's not like I'm telling you to stay. I'm not telling you to stay. I'm not telling you to endure these things. But what I am telling you to do is don't get this information or don't be gassed up or don't fall for the sauce when it comes to these red pillars. Okay. I'll play one more video. Okay, I'm gonna just actually show one of my guys and then I'm gonna end it on that note.
Learn Portuguese with Portuguese TV.
Ainda escreves?
Sim, eu vou publicar o meu primeiro livro.
Pays produit suffisamment de quoi nous nourrir. Nous pouvons dépasser même notre production, malheureusement. Par manque d'organisation, nous sommes encore obligés de tendre la main pour demander des aides alimentaires. Ces aides alimentaires qui nous bloquent, qui nous inspirent, qui installent dans nos esprits cette habitude, ces réflexes de mendiants. Nous devons mettre de côté ces aides par notre grande production. Il faut réussir à produire plus. Produire plus. Produire plus parce que il est normal que celui qui vous donne à manger vous dicte également alimentaire.
I want you to keep and I'm gonna end on this note. Okay, of what Cherno, that's what we call him in our language. I'm gonna in this, yeah, I'm gonna end on this note. I'm just gonna end on this note. Because when you look at this, what do the red pillars mostly do? They mostly beg. Okay. If for example, if these guys were producing their own things, if these guys actually had a tangible product that was actually selling, that was actually good, then they would not need to do the type of things that they're doing. However, when you look at these red pillars and things like that, this is what they're doing. Okay, they're doing these things. They're actually like, this is what is happening with these red pillars. Okay.
qui nous inspire, qui installe dans nos esprits cette habitude, ces réflexes de mendiants. Nous devons mettre de côté ces aides par notre grande production. Il faut réussir à produire plus. Produire plus. Produire plus parce que il est normal que celui qui vous donne à manger vous dicte également ses volontés.
So he said, "He who feeds you imposes his will on you." So I want to end on this note. Hypothetically speaking, let's say if I was one of these red pill guys and my whole content was just devoted to saying the points that we already know, saying what we already know, and things like that. If I kept on mentioning these points and I'm not giving you the solution for these points, but I'm actually telling you to get involved in the things that they're telling that they're advocating for, then I wouldn't be much better than a feminist. Okay. But if I'm telling you this and I feel obligated to kind of deliver upon demand of you guys, then in essence it's pretty much like, again, he who feeds you controls you. And so I think a lot of times with these audiences, the guys who are, I guess you can say the guys who are in, rather sensitive or socially awkward situation feel that, that this is what they need. It's more of this. And, the red pillars feel obligated to deliver it since, they get super chats. I'm pretty sure, like, let me check if Fresh and Fit have a cash app. See their show real quick. Hold on, let me see. See their show.
Chris.
That's nothing.
That's the average salary. That's not nothing.
All right, so I don't see a cash app or anything down there. Hold on, let me see.
Woo! And we are.
Hold on, let me see. Okay. Okay. Sponsorship requests. So I think they've gotten to that, beyond that point. But yeah. You see the crazy thing is, this is kind of like a scheme. It's because when you look at the title, it says Money Monday, Womanizer Wednesday, and then Fitness Calling Friday. And all their content is pretty much just the same exact thing every single time, with a group of women and them doing the same things, basically. You know what I mean? That's pretty much what it consists of when it comes to these Fresh and Fit, This is kind of where we're at with them, But again, you know, I guess you can say I come from a different era, pretty much in terms of like where I got my knowledge from. Because I came from a real place. You know what I mean? So this is why I recommend that you just choose carefully. And guys who don't, like guys who pretty much don't have your reality should not even be talking, you know, or who haven't lived your reality should not be talking, you know. But hold on just a minute. Give me a second. Give me one more second. Actually, I think I'll end it here. But just let this be a lesson, guys, that you're not under any obligation to these red pill or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna be honest with you. Me, I haven't even sat through a whole show with these guys. Like I haven't even watched one full show with them. You know what I mean? So again, you can find it elsewhere. That's what all I'm saying. What you're looking for. But anyhow, thank y'all for tuning in. I hope y'all got something from this. Maybe tomorrow I'll be back on, depending on what time I have available. Maybe tomorrow I'll be back on. But anyhow, Fula signing out. Njadama.